Hey, savais-tu que la session a été invitée à Jazz Fest cette semaine?
Tu savais pas, hein? Hello and welcome back to another episode of La Session. My name is MJ, and as you know, La Session is a series of interviews with musicians. Basically, we aim to bring the local music scene to light and also bring you the behind the scenes and flip the coin on what it's like to be an artist here in Montreal. This week, we were invited by the Montreal Jazz Festival to come and do a series of interviews, and we are very, very lucky to be here in the press room. Today, we are joined by none other than Taurey Butler. Hi, Taurey. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. Taurey, despite your best efforts to become a Japanese-speaking electrical engineer, you're now a world-renowned jazz pianist, and you're playing the world's largest international jazz festival, once again with your trio today. You've played with a plethora of amazing artists, including L.D. Young, but also one of my jazz vocal mothers here in Montreal, Renee Lee. And your last record, One of the Others, came out in 2022 under the label Just in Time Records. Thank you so much for taking the time. I mean, I've seen you play for the first time with Renee at Upstairs a couple years back, and it was a really nice experience because I've been around her a lot, but seeing the way that you guys were interacting on stage was something that just warmed my heart. Something that I've heard from multiple musicians that have played with her before was that you can't outplay Renee, but the way that you were able to just complement her energy with the lines in your playing and your energetic comping in her show just made so much sense. And so that's like the first thing that jumped out at me. Do you feel like you change your playing depending on the setting where you play, or do you have like an authentic, unique flavor of Taurey that you bring everywhere?
I think it's a combination, but definitely you have to adapt. I mean, that's part of what we do as jazz musicians is we're improvising and we're kind of feeling the energy of what happens. And then when you work with someone like Renee, who's very powerful in her own right, your primary mission is just to enhance what she does. You know? So you were saying like you're never going to outplay her. That you're already on the wrong path. That's your intention.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
Why would you do that? You're there to support her. Because the thing is, if she does really good, you do really good.
That's true. Yeah.
It's like we're a team, and Renee, I've been very fortunate to play with her, and it's always a challenge in a good way. Because I've played with people where it was always a challenge and
in a different way.
Not the one I wanted. Okay. For Renee, it's always fun and I'm always surprised about what she can do. I think I've heard, her range of things, and then she'll come up with something different. Like, wow, and it's just fun for me to sit back, and play with her. I always say I have the best seat in the house. I'm right
That's
there.
true. You're right there. That's true. Yeah, it's a good balance as well with everybody in the band. I mean, I remembered seeing Carlos, who was there at that show. Previously, obviously, she was playing with Richard, but at that show, she was playing with Carlos on the guitar, and he was telling me that playing with you as with like a second chord instrument, having guitar and piano in a band, that's something that not everybody does. Renee chooses to do that. And it was really nice to see how you were able to complement each other's playing as well, which is something that's notably I've seen peers of mine struggle with. So that's something that I notice a lot when I listen to people play. Similarly, when musicians move from band leader to sideman to band leader, depending on the gig that they're on, they're expected to take different roles, obviously. Your shows seem to be always very warm and welcoming, and I feel like you're, making sure that the crowd is involved with the music, no matter the intensity of the playing, which is something that's really nice. I want to know more about what it's been like building your identity as a band leader as opposed to playing for other people's bands.
It's a good question. It's been a fun journey. I'm surprised about who I've been influenced by. Like I remember when I was younger and I was taking piano lessons, there was a gentleman on there. I don't know if you're familiar with him. His name is Victor Borga.
Okay.
And he, I think he was originally Hungarian. I can't remember. But anyway, he had a big career in the States, and he was the type of he's a classically trained pianist, but he incorporated humor in what he was doing. And I remember I told my mother, "That's what I want to do," and she's like, "No, you're not doing that."
Oh, because it's not serious.
Well, because like when you, even with comedians, like when you're, well, especially with music, when you're telling it, when you're doing funny things, you have to have a lot of ability behind that to make it work.
Yeah.
Like
you have to be able to back it up.
Right. Like with we'll say with a magician, right?
Yeah,
he does a trick, and you think he doesn't know what's happening, and you realize after he does a trick, like he had it all planned. There's a lot of skill behind the fun or the loose, the appearance of being loose. Yeah. And that's what I saw with Victor Borge, and I just also enjoy making people smile.
Yeah, of course.
Having, like there's this image of you have to be super serious, and the thing is, it's like. I feel like that's that's one approach, but you're dealing with people's emotions on stage, right? If you don't want to entertain people, then just stay home and play for yourself.
Good point.
So that's why
true.
I like to in my personal life I like to have fun and tell jokes and all that stuff, and so I like to carry that on the stage too, because it also brings people in.
It does, and especially in the world of, I was actually speaking about this with another artist earlier today, but in the world of instrumental music specifically, sometimes it takes a bit of that, like bringing people in so that they're in the loop of what's going to happen instrumentally later, because not every listener is always able to extrapolate all the insides of, the interactions that are happening in a trio setting, for example. And so I'm sure that's something that's very appreciated from the crowd every time. I don't know, we haven't seen your show yet. We're going to be there later to see you play, but I'm confident that we're going to have a good time. You're obviously a young budding musician, but it seems you've gained a lot of your experience playing in Singapore. Yes, note the young. 7 years in Asia and Singapore and different parts of the world playing for a bunch of different bands, but notably playing with LD Young. I want to know more about your experience playing with LD and your growth in your collaboration together. How has that changed over time? Because I know you kind of just like met him at an airport and then
Not quite,
went to gig somewhere,
But calling me young, just let you know, flattery will get you everywhere. So,
okay.
Yeah. I'm ready to do
I'm
ready to do a 4 hour.
I got you. I'm right here.
I'm ready for a 4-hour interview right now.
Perfect.
I'm not going anywhere. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. With LD Young, he was my first long-term contract musician, seasoned musician that I work with, and he taught me a lot. Like, it's one thing when you're planning something for a particular show, but when you're doing it consistently with someone who has a repertoire, and then I saw his patience in the beginning. It also pushed me to work harder and be ready, to play the songs that he wants to play. But I learned a lot from him. He told me I'm gonna teach you how to be a musician, how to be a working musician, and not just like a one-off type of. Because I had the talent in order to get the group. Because it was through someone I had met when I was in Jersey and the New York area, and a great saxophonist named Brooks Giles, and he was already working with him, and he recommended me for it. So we had actually did I sent him a cassette, a recording myself, and for him to.
Have an idea what you sound like.
And then we talked on the phone, and he said okay, and then we met in Japan on the connecting flights.
Oh yeah, that's where I got that from. Okay,
he was coming from Chicago, and I was coming from New York with the guy that I had known. He was coming from Chicago with the drummer. Can't remember George. I can't remember his last name right now, but and we met on the connecting flight, and then. It was a very different experience.
Well, that's it.
I'm here. I'm gonna get to know you really good for the next 4 months, and it's gonna be great. Yeah.
So that first stretch was 4 months.
Yeah.
Do you feel what changed in your because you're in a different setting, you're in a crowd of different musicians. The music culture is music, but there's different kinds of norms and different kinds of approaches that people take to gigs. And I know you've mentioned before that there's a big community of expats that end up on that scene. So people speak English there, so it probably didn't feel too crazy out of.
No,
but it's kind of crazy still, though, right?
That's the thing I really recommend, like for anybody in any discipline that wants to go visit Asia, go to Singapore first if you're from an English speaking area, because it's a good transition, because English is the language there, and also it's more multicultural than most other Asian countries as well too, because I find most other Asian countries are very homogenous. You know, like you're gonna find mostly Japanese people in Japan, mostly Chinese people. But in Singapore, there's a lot of different cultures there. Wait, what did you ask me? Is that what you asked me?
I was kind of just wondering, you know, because, you know, a lot of people aspire to go and play other places and, you know, explore something outside their local scene. And I kind of want to know what that changes in a musician.
Right.
Like, what changes when you start doing that stuff, either in your playing or in your, like, life habits. Like, that'll change somebody as a whole.
Well, traveling in general is really good because you really start to learn who you are. You know, you grow up in a certain culture, certain society, and you don't realize all of the habits that are imposed on you until you go somewhere else, and like you see things happening differently. Like, oh wait, and then you can decide, wait, is that really part of who I am, or was I just conditioned? You know, and you get to explore like that. But as far as playing, I think I was young at the time, so I think what I was thinking at the time was I can kind of turn it on and off.
Okay.
As far as like playing and, you know, like.
What do you mean turning it on and off? Like the stage charisma? Are we talking about?
Well, I didn't have to worry too much about charisma because I was a sideman.
Good point.
But still, like as a sideman, you have to do charisma, but not that much. You don't have to interact with the
silent
audience.
charisma.
Yeah. You have to be present and learn how to be a sideman. That's something that's very important too, is learning how to be a sideman. And you find that when you're a leader, you learn better how to be a sideman because you know what you require from the band, and then you're able to give that to somebody, which also helped me too with Renee as well when I was leading.
Oh, she knows what she wants. And
that's also what helps a lot too. Is that
she's got direction.
She knows what she wants, but also know how to give it to her as well too. But I think just the habit and the repetition of doing it over and over again when I was in Singapore with LD Young, it allowed me to just get more comfortable on the stage. Yeah. I guess in that sense, being able to turn it on and turn it off, like knowing when to go real far for something, knowing when to, you know, kind of explode, and knowing to bring it in, and having the sensibility to know when to do what. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, that does make sense to me. No, thank you. That's actually a really good answer. I want to see also, I wanted to speak about your record a little bit. Okay. So you put one of the others out in 2022. Right. And on that record, there's a couple of your compositions, more than a couple. There's actually over 4 or 5 at least. Notably, Swap and Lies and a Sisyphean Task that I both really liked. How does your composition process work in terms of, do you workshop tunes with your trio? Is it something that happens more alone? Everybody has a different way of doing it, but I'm curious to see how that happens for you.
For me, I think I just have some ideas and I voice memo them when they come, and then I'll figure out if I want to take it a little further, because that's where this album came from. Is well, first of all, it was during the pandemic, so we all had a lot of time, right? So I looked at all these different ideas that I had started, and then decided which ones I wanted to flush out and make turn into songs. Yeah. And I brought it to the studio, and the guys, they kind of found their parts. There's a little bit of a guide, but they really put their stamp on it, you know. With Wally and Morgan, they did a great job filling it out.
So it's like a community effort at that point. Yeah, communal effort at that point.
To a degree, but I have a strong sense of direction of where I want to go. And so I'll hear what they want to do, and then I'll decide, keep that. That's cool. Most of the time, it's keep it. There's some guidance on there as far as what I would like to have. Yeah.
That makes sense. Well, I'm really excited to hear it live. potentially, or depending on, I don't know what you're going to be playing tonight, but no matter what, we're going to be there and we're excited for it. That's already all the questions I have for you, Taurey.
Okay.
So no 4-hour interview today, unfortunately, but I'm very happy to have had you on. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you very much.
And we do have a little poster that we make all the guests sign. Would you partake?
Sure, definitely.
Could I have the... This is the most disjointed poster at this point, but nonetheless, you're well accompanied by a bunch of lovely people that have also signed this poster as well.
I like lovely people.
Yes, me too. Camille and Daryl are there as well if you want.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, Camille's right here, I think.
Okay.
Feel free to go wherever you want. I'm trying to make it as scribbly as possible. We're going for it. Thank you guys so much for watching this series. This is the last interview we're doing for the Jazz Fest.
Okay.
You're our last but not least.
I'm honored.
So yes, thank you guys for listening, and go find Taurey's album because it's pretty good actually. So have a great week. And season 2 of La Session is still going on. We're in partnership with Shock, and episodes are coming out every 2 weeks until the month of October. So stay tuned for that. And thank you so much. Have a great week. Ciao. Thank you, Taurey.
Thank you.
This was lovely.
And congratulations to you all for getting this happening. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's in the feed. I'm like,
yeah, you're right. Yeah, I do. I bought this old school bus and I turned it into like an RV type situation, and we've been driving it around all the way up until last year, and unfortunately it died last year.
Oh no.
Yeah, but it was an old thing.
What inspired you to do that?
It was honestly I had always yeah, we flipped it around.
Yeah.
He's interviewing me now, so
It's fine.
So where'd the inspiration come from?
I'm laughing because this is the second interview in a row that I get asked a question. I feel so honored. But I've just always really enjoyed the idea of minimalistic living. The idea of being able to like pack all of your stuff and just go. It's like always been like, because I have a mom that like she loves big wooden furniture, right? She likes like big, nice, heavy things. And so obviously as a child, you're kind of trying to see what's on the other side of things. And so, yeah, I was just like, what would it, be like to do that? And then my best friend during the pandemic had a bit of a breakdown moment, and she was just like, I'm gonna buy a bus. And I was like, you're not doing that alone. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, no, you're not doing that alone. I'll help you.
So you about to jump over a cliff. He said, let's go.
I said, let me grab my squirrel suit.
Yeah.
And so we decided to do it together, and then, so it's been like a beautiful, honestly, it's like one of the like big pillars of like my confidence as a person is like I did that from A to Z, and
also,
so it's really awesome that you.
Relationship with her probably is.
Yes. Oh yeah, we went
Well,
through
it could go one way or another, right? When that happens.
Because we're two really hard-headed women, so it's been a journey, but it's made us stronger. Like even with the project being over, it gives you some, I know how to use an angle grinder now. Like you don't. That's a skill I don't know when I'm going to use that again, but
hopefully never.
You're right. But if I have to, you best believe I'm plugging that shit in. It's gonna happen. We'll see. Anyways, on that note, are we good? Yeah. Wow, that was crazy. That was the easiest setup I've ever done because I didn't do anything.